Hi, my name is Matt. I am from Geeks of Color, and it's great to talk with you guys today.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing well. So Jingyi, this is your very first feature film. How did it feel, and why was this the story that you wanted to tell?
Uh, I mean, it feels surreal. I mean, it's been a long journey to get here. And to finally be here, uh, I say this all the time. I feel like I dunked, like making a feature film was my dunk, and here I am.
Mhm.
And your second half of that was what was my inspiration?
Why was this the story that you wanted to tell as your first feature?
Oh, I think that this film started with a single image, which was a young boy trying to dunk in the snow, and he just keeps doing it and doing it, and he can't do it. And for some reason, that came to me, I think, 3, 4 years ago, and it was incredibly resonant for me. I think at the time because I was writing, I was trying my best to find opportunities. I was wondering if my voice would ever be heard, if anyone would ever give me a shot. And I think subconsciously, that's just what came to mind. And from there, the idea just wouldn't go away. The idea of like a kid just wanting to dunk, just something really clear, a very, very clear goal. Can you do it? And can you not? And I realized that that's something that I think all people can relate to.
Mhm.
Not just achieving a goal, but just starting on a journey to achieve a goal.
Okay. And for you, Bloom, I've seen you act before. I actually worked for the LA Asian Pacific Film Festival, so I saw you in After Images,
Oh,
which was a very
oh,
different
cool. Yeah.
it's a very different film than this. Why for you is it important to keep helping to tell Asian American stories and very different kinds of Asian American stories?
Well, I just love being Asian American. I think our stories are really incredible. It doesn't feel like it's like something I have to like try to do. You know what I mean? Like I'm naturally drawn to
Right.
these things. Um, and I think it's like I love like working with directors who have visions and like they create their own worlds and like their own tones and like I love being able to kind of play in those like sandboxes. So for me, like these different aspects, because like there's a lot of people out there,
Mhm.
like a lot of people will relate to different tones, different vibes, and like different feelings. And I think as an artist, it's always my goal is always to try to like reach as many people and like connect with them. And I think through these like different mediums, you could connect with a lot. Through these like tonal mediums, you could connect with a lot of different people. But also like you get something different each time as well as an audience member.
Right, right.
So I think it's just beautiful. And yeah.
Okay. So you filmed this movie in 2021, which coincidentally was the same year that the Stop Asian Hate movement happened.
Mm.
How did it feel having to telling this story, which is a positive thing for Asian Americans, and also having to contend with what was happening around the world where Asian Americans are still kind of having to fight for their place?
Wow. That's a very powerful question. Um, I think that when you hear stories like that, that just total injustice, where you feel targeted, where it's clearly just so unfair what's
Mhm.
happening. Um, there's a profound sense of hopelessness and discouragement.
Right.
And I think that in that, you have to find some kind of hope. You have to resist that feeling and you have to keep creating. You have to keep expressing. You have to keep trying to inspire people to go on. And I actually wrote this film I started writing this film at the beginning of the pandemic. And tonally, it was very different in the beginning. It was much more like indie. I wanted it to be like an Asian American rebel without a cause. But the more I wrote, the more I wanted to resist maybe some of the feelings I was having with regards to the pandemic and Asian hate and all that.
Hmm.
And ultimately, like, this was what came out of it. It's a celebration of what you can do, even in the face of all the obstacles that are in your life.
What about you, Bloom? How did you feel acting in it?
Oh, it made it so much more necessary. It's like Jing said, it's very like hope giving, right? And in the process of having like all the Asian hate stuff happening, with and the ability to continue despite that. That's what resistance is, for me. So like continue to art make in face of that, and not letting that stop you, was vital to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One thing that I really took away from this film was the use of language. There's scenes where they're speaking in Mandarin, and maybe some other films might have kind of changed it so that all the audience could understand it without having to read subtitles. But with this film, you use the Mandarin, you use subtitles. There's a contrast between when Chang speaks in English, when Chen is speaking in Chinese. What was that decision like for you? And was it intentional to kind of have that contrast between them?
I wanted to reflect my relationship with my parents, which is we switch languages depending on, you know, how mad we are at each other.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I always thought it was a representation of like how we didn't see each other, or how we weren't really communicating as well as we could. You know, how we wanted things to be on our home court, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to show that truth in the film. And I was always confident that, you know, if a story is engaging enough, an audience is not going to care how much of it is in English or a different language. And I mean, like, you know, right when we were making this, I think Squid Game came out, which is entirely subtitled, you know. And
Right.
I also know that like young people, they all watch anime, and you know, nobody watches the English dub, right?
Depends. I watch Dragon Ball Z in English dub.
Oh, okay, okay.
I
That's
like
I
like
mean, they
that's
got
like
good
the
voice
best
actors for that one.
yeah. Okay. Um, for both of you, what was it like working with such a diverse cast? Like your lead is Asian, main love interest is a black woman. The drum major was wearing a hijab in that scene. So what was it like having such a great representation of people from all different walks of life, backgrounds in this film?
It felt at one point it felt incredible, right? It felt like a really like rare, awesome opportunity. To think like me and Ben, who plays Bo, we like would get dinner and we're just like, look at us, we're just like two like little Asian dudes like doing this
Yeah.
movie together. And it was like really cute. And also on the other hand, it felt very comfortable. I was like, oh wow, like this is nice. Like I like this. Um, and I think that kind of created like the atmosphere where like the cast and everybody were super close and like we're bonded and we have each other's backs.
Last question. Can you actually dunk? Both of you.
I can't right now. No, I could grab the rim pretty strongly. So after the film wrapped, I trained to try to dunk it. Because I'm actually like 5'8" and some, you know, so it is I have to jump pretty high. But I can't right now. No.
Eugene, can you dunk?
I could if I tried. Sadly, I think I'm aged out of that. I mean, maybe we'll see how much time I have. I've never dunked.
Can you dunk?
Thank you both. No, I cannot dunk. I am 5'7" and some. My dad wishes I could dunk. He tried. He tried to get me to play
Watch
basketball.
Chang, bro. Just keep watching that movie over and over again.
I gotta get DeAndre's training regimen in. My
I
dad would
gotta
love
say,
it.
you have to see. I mean, Bloom is being very modest right now, but you have to see him because I think his vertical, your vertical's got to be at least 32 inches now at this
Oh,
point.
dang.
32,
Like,
35.
probably
So
30, 36, 37. Yeah.
yeah.
Gotta rock those plyos.
Yeah. A lot of them.
Well, thank you both so much. I really enjoyed talking with you today, and great
Yeah.
film.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Matt.
Thank
Appreciate you.
you.